A lot of watch reviewers and YouTubers will say some new watch is a Rolex killer, or buy this instead of the Rolex Submariner. I know I've made this video at least, and the main reason this gets pitched over and over again is because Rolex is expensive, inaccessible, some of the styles are pretty basic, so can I get something cheaper and still pretty good? And this is an area that Christopher Ward dominates in, creating pretty compelling watches at an affordable price. So this is the C63 Sealander Automatic, 36mm in Sky Blue. I've had this in for a while now. Christopher Ward is pretty generous with their loan times. They let you spend some real hands-on time, let you get to know the product, but it is indeed a loan, and I'm not being paid or anything like that. These are just my thoughts. Is this watch any good? Who's it for? And is it indeed an Oyster Perpetual killer? This video is coming out a lot later than I wanted it to, so the watch came in just before Watches and Wonders, but then of course I was in Geneva, then Germany, then in London, so I didn't get to spend some proper time with this. I couldn't have done a review until now, so there is a chance you might already know the specs, but just in case you don't, I have in the 36mm variant. It is also available in 39mm. This has a thickness of 10.9mm and a lug-to-lug of 42mm. So very small wrist-friendly numbers. For reference, here it is on my 5.5-inch wrist versus my husband's 7-inch wrist. This is such a great size. I feel like it looks just as good on my smaller wrist as it does on my husband's. I would feel comfortable recommending this for a 7.5-inch wrist circumference and smaller. If you have a larger wrist than that, I would recommend the 39mm, but it depends on how you like your watches to wear. Back on the specs, the case material is stainless steel, 150 meters of water resistance, so that is 50 meters more than the Rolex, and date complication at 6 o'clock, perfectly color matched to the dial. Let's talk about the movement. Some things have changed here. This is powered by the new Sellita SW200-2, which is a major reimagining of the previous caliber, the SW200-1. Biggest upgrade is in the power reserve. So the older had approximately 38 to 41 hours of power reserve, which now jumps up to 65 hours. Christopher Ward has added some decoration as well with the twin flag engraving on the rotor. Overall, very good movement, accuracy of -5 plus 12 seconds per day. Using a Sellita movement is one of the ways that they keep costs down. If you're an in-house purist, I mean, Christopher Ward already won't be for you. I don't have a problem with it. Off-the-shelf movements are easy to service and very good at what they do. Most in-house movements from brands normal people can actually afford are still mass-produced. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just the economy of scale that makes mechanical movements more affordable. So when I asked people on Instagram what they wanted to know most about this watch, the most requested thing was, how does it compare to another turquoise dial 36mm watch that maybe I have in my collection, which we will talk about right after we talk about the newest IFL drop, and they just so happen to be today's fabulous video sponsor. So this is an official IFL Watches and Venezianico collaboration, the Redentori Lodalisca. That was my very best Italian pronunciation, and I'm so sorry. Redentori Lodalisca. This watch pays homage to Hermann Carotti, a 19th century Italian painter who captured his travels through North Africa and the Mediterranean, with this one capturing ladies of the harem bathing. I love when these two come together and collaborate. I think it makes so much sense. And this is my first time being hands-on with the Redentori line, which is their modern dress watch. I'm super impressed. Really good build quality, soft leather strap, very good proportions. So 40mm stainless steel case, polished finishing that feels that little bit more elevated, and 11mm thickness. Powering this watch is the Seiko caliber NH35A automatic movement, which is a really cool choice. But as always, the big talking point with IFL is the hand-painted dials. These are beautiful, something that is truly unique, wearable art. These are very limited, only 200 pieces worldwide, and they've just gone up now, June 1st. They're live. If you want to lock one of these down, go click the link that is in my description. Even if you just want to see what else IFL has on tap, go click that link. These are super limited, so don't sit on it. And thank you so much to IFL for sponsoring this video. Okay, that was a cheeky sponsor placement. Now let's talk about how these compare to the Rolex Oyster Perpetual, if they compare at all. I feel like it's natural to put these two together because of the color, but honestly, I'm not sure if they equate. I actually think this is closer to a Datejust than an Oyster Perpetual. Color-wise, the Christopher Ward is more of a light blue than a proper turquoise. These are both lacquer, so the effect is similar. It just depends on if you prefer the softer blue or the punchy turquoise. I think this is one of those things where watch people will think these are very different, but normal people will be like,
both those belts look exactly the same to me, still.
The only other similarities these share is with the baton hour markers, and both have a polished bezel. If you absolutely insisted on making a Rolex comparison, I would say that's where the similarities begin and end. The differences make a big impact. Starting with the most obvious thing, the handset. Christopher Ward has this almost aggressive feeling triangular hour hand. Gone is the trident counterbalance on the seconds hand. Thank God. I think this is my favorite detail of the dial. The trident was an active obstacle for me. I think it's a massive improvement, and I think this will tip the scales for a lot of people. Around the minute track, we have 60-second markers, date neatly positioned at 6 o'clock, and Sealander branding just above. The case is well finished, especially for the price. This is the redesigned, slightly slimmer light catcher case, which is a combination of brushed and polished surfaces. It's really beautiful. They did a really good job on this, and it forms well to the wrist. It is a heat wave here in the UK. My camera has just overheated, so I'm going to switch to this for a little bit. The UK, not many houses have air conditioning, so you just kind of have to deal with the heat. So one big worry I always have with kind of complicated bracelets like this is the link adjustment. And now Christopher Ward has debuted the iLink, a system that lets you toollessly take links out and place back together. So on the underside of the bracelet, on the outer links, you will see a little button and an arrow on the opposing side. You just need to push in the button with your nail, which unlocks the mechanism, allowing you to remove from the arrow side and adjust. I personally found it really easy to take out, a little fiddly to put back together. You have to make sure you're putting all the pieces back into the correct place. I may have made mistakes along the way. Oh, and I also put it upside down. Like I put the little button side on the outside, then had to redo it all. I love this update. I love that they're investing in new toolless systems. They don't need to be investing in this area, but they are. It's really ambitious. We are so back, baby, on the main camera. Okay, the price. And I think this is the biggest reason why someone might say this is a Rolex killer. Here in the UK, on Consort bracelet, so the more complicated bracelet, this retails for £1,055 and £1,015 on the Bader 3-link bracelet. If you have been following them for a while, the prices do seem to be creeping up. I would still say it's a lot of value for money. There's a lot of value cram-packed in there, but it's not the same level of affordability that it used to be. The offerings are better, but the prices are higher. So, is it a Rolex killer? I mean, kind of, but not completely. I know it's an annoying answer. It's a very me answer. If we are talking in terms of value, daily wearability, and watch being delivered per dollar spent, there's a good argument that the C63 is an Oyster Perpetual disruptor. Rolex Oyster Perpetuals retail for about £5,500 versus this at just over £1,000. These are both absurd, like it's a lot of money to spend on a watch, but with the Rolex being over five times more expensive, a lot of people simply cannot afford one or can't justify spending that much. But there is something to say for Rolex, their movements, their build quality, and what they also deliver at the price category. I don't think this is going to deter the average Rolex buyer. If price isn't a problem, they're a Rolex person, they're still gonna buy the OP. Christopher Ward has built something that scratches 90% of that itch for a fraction of the price that is actually available to buy, and that matters. It's clean, versatile sports styling, genuinely enjoyable to wear, excellent finishing for the price, more than enough water resistance, and a strong bracelet execution. I'm actually not convinced in pitting this against Rolex. The only reason I did it for this video is because the comments on my Instagram were so heavily skewed to talking about Rolex. I think this has just as much in common with the Omega Aquaterra as it does the Oyster Perpetual or the Datejust. I think any brand attempting this everyday style will have a hard time not being compared to Rolex. Anyways, thank you for watching. Thank you to IFL for sponsoring this video. And now, thank you to the Pope Tier patrons. Get their name on my face. Wow, I really hated the way I said that. I wish I could go back and change everything. But guys, thank you so much for supporting my weird little channel. I hope you keep enjoying the work here. I mean, I love making watch reviews. This is the kind of videos I like making the most. I just need to get more watches through. That's usually the big issue, is having enough watches through to talk about and enough time to film and properly understand the watch. But yeah, original content takes time. I don't think people always appreciate that. Thank you so much for supporting the work here. This channel is financially viable because of you guys. I hope you keep enjoying the work here, and we'll see you in the next one.